The old when you miss a meeting and you're like, oh, sorry, I was in the wrong room. Mm-hmm. They're like, sure you were, sir. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to episode 147 of Disney with the Ducks. Tonight, you've got me, John Kroll, and I'm joined by a few of my duck friends. I've got Jody with me.
Hi, friends.
Lonnie.
Hey, everyone.
And Gene.
Howdy.
All right, so we got quite a motley crew tonight, so this is going to be fun. But first, before we get into it, I would like for everybody to just hit that pause button, go out, give us a 5-star review, share an episode with your friends, join our Facebook group, Disney with the Ducks, and then come back, unpause it, and now we can go on with the show. So tonight, we're going to ask a question like we do every week. We want to get to know each other a little better and share some insight into our lives with the listeners. And if anybody has a fun answer to any of these ever, come over to Disney with the Ducks and tell us what your answer is to this question, because it would be fun to get to know each other better that way too. All right, so tonight, do you think it is better to regret something you did or regret something you didn't do? Everybody looks like they're thinking. I knew the question in advance, so I'll answer first to give you guys a minute to think. I would 100% rather regret something I did than regret something I didn't do, because I want to be out there trying different things, and that's how you learn and grow and everything else, right? Like, if you just don't do anything, I would hate having those regrets later in life, but I'm never going to regret doing too much or trying new things or anything like that. So that's just me. Gene, what do you got?
Well, like Michael Scott said, quoting Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, And so I would rather regret the things that I did as opposed to, the things that I didn't do. Because you miss, as I'm telling you that Michael Scott's telling you that Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Lonnie, the question's to you.
I'm like Gene and John. I want to regret things I've done. I don't want to be like knocking on heaven's door and be like, man, I wish I would have did this. Mm-hmm. I wish I'd have tried this, right? I'd rather do it and be like, oh man, I messed up, and have that. So when I go check out, it's gonna be no regrets, not even a letter.
No regrets, not even a letter.
All right, and Jody, what do you got?
I would say at this point in my life, I look back at the things that I've done that I regret with shame and embarrassment. Mm-hmm. But I look back at the things that I didn't do that I wish I would have done with a longing and a sympathy. So that's not really an answer, because I don't know which one I feel worse about. So thanks, John, for making me feel like crap.
You're welcome. That's what I do.
I appreciate
That's what I do. Some people are uppers and maximizers. I'm a minimalizer and a downer. Nice. Okay, so 3 of us agree, and Jody's just playing both sides of the fence here.
I don't know.
That's usually a John thing. So
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Stretch.
Normally John was 15 answers. I just didn't quite answer.
Okay, that's fair. But I mean, speaking of regrets, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And hopefully you don't regret listening to this episode. But we're going to talk about our biggest Disney regrets. Yeah, because I mean, we all go to Disney a lot. We're bound to regret certain things, depending on how you live your life, though, I guess. But Lonnie, what's one of your biggest Disney regrets?
One of my biggest regrets was that I waited as long as I did before joining DVC. Gene and I, back in 2016, we did our first tour. Back in the day when you can go and they'll give you like 6 fast passes and they gave you like a Disney gift card and all that kind of good stuff. Gene and I did that, and we ate a bunch of ice cream, and I was sitting there going, mulling over in my mind. I was like, man, Gene, this sounds really good. Should I get this? Should I not get this? and I ended up leaving and not getting it. And since then, things changed, and I'm a DVC member now. But back then I could have jumped in earlier and start taking the benefits of it, and and they kept saying, hey, you can get it now, and you got 10 days to change your mind. But you get there and you kind of just forget about it, right? And I didn't get it, and now I'm like, I missed out on a lot of vacations. I could have DVC'd it. So that's my biggest Disney regret, not joining and giving Mickey my money earlier.
Lonnie G, number one on my list was DVC. When I went through and added up the amount of money I spent on resort stays in the course of my life, realizing I could have invested that money into DVC, and that, yeah, I regret that. So I wish we would have joined. I'm glad we're members. I wish we would have joined earlier. I think it would have been very beneficial to join earlier. So instead of paying out all that money just to stay for a week vacation or whatever it was, it would have been better to invest in that and join DVC.
That's one of mine too. I don't regret not buying earlier, but I regret not buying more points when we first bought in, because the point cost only goes up, right? Mm-hmm. And I wish we would have bought more points when we first joined, but I think the timing was perfect, because if I would have bought any earlier with my family, I think I would have regretted it and been like, oh, I don't know. I had to get to that point where I absolutely loved Disney before I was good with it. And that trip, I hit that point. So, and of course, it was over Christmas, so everything was perfect, and you can't say no to that.
It's a gift for yourself. It's a gift that you enjoy for years to come.
Right. But we did the financially reasonable thing and bought what we could afford. And I kind of wish we would have bought more than we could afford and just, live that lifestyle. Right. And just, what? It'll get paid off eventually, but we're going to make memories now. So, the interest will be for the memories, I guess. But yeah. Gene, what's one of your big regrets from Disney?
Yeah, so I got really just one big regret, and it's saying yes when I was asked to run the Star Wars Challenge back in 20 whatever. I don't even know. It's just I've tried to block it all out, but now I mean, you see, I don't have nearly the Disney races and the Disney experiences that you got under my belt, but man, the ones that I do, it's cost me time, it's cost me money. So, those are my regrets, saying yes the first time.
And that's the cost of friendship with Lonnie, though, right? I mean,
I guess, he's pretty persuasive.
I let you into a lifestyle.
That's how we call it. Okay.
And what you do is you take my friendship, you take what you can. You know what? When you're on your deathbed, you're going to say, man, I used to run Disney races. You're not going to be like, man, I wish I could have went out there and run Disney races. You can say you did it. And that's because of me. But you take my kindness for a weakness. So you know what? All right.
And Gene, if you did not say yes to Lonnie, then you would have not have met John and I. And have we not improved your life tenfold?
You have. You've changed my mind. I changed my answer. Okay, I changed my answer. There's times where I would have wanted to register and I didn't. And there's, I got serious FOMO. Like, I mean, you guys know I just was able to register, but I did not register for this Dopey, and I just did. And now I'm having to kind of catch up my training. And so I don't like living with regrets, but I do wish I would have registered on time, and been, a little more current in my training. But hey, what are you going to do? You can't.
So it is a regret that you didn't listen to me in April when I told you to register for Dopey. You're like, nah, man, I'm not going to do it this year.
That was a smart decision for myself. But, I can't say it's a real regret. Like I didn't go to California at all and FOMO the whole time. It was just family wise. It was I had to make some decisions, but I always miss it when I miss it, I always miss it, Those are my main regrets. I love the memories that I have. I would like to do more trips, especially with my daughter. My wife and son could care less, but my daughter loved Disney. We were talking about it today. And I intend to do more, whether I can't wait to have grandkids, but we're not rushing that. Okay. But at some point, that's what I'm going to do with grandkids, so it's that.
Yeah.
That's my
No,
story.
that's
Sticking
good.
to it.
That's the good part, right? You get to start all over, but
Mhm.
this time you do just the fun stuff.
That's right.
So that's the grandparent role. I'm ready for it.
You've got a long way, my
I
friend.
know, but I'm ready. I'm not ready to add it on to what I have now. I'm ready to replace what I have now. So I'm gonna say another regret I have is I was in Tokyo for work, and it was before I was a big Disney fan, and I could have extended it for a day or two, but I pushed to try to get home early because things going on at home. I had little kids and everything else. But I still look back at that trip and wish I would have extended my trip by a day just so I could go off on my own to Disney, Tokyo and Disney Sea, right? Because that would have been so awesome. And how often are you just in Japan, right? So I don't know if I'll ever have that chance again. So I regret that. I think if you're ever in an area where there's a Disney park, like somewhere not normal to where you travel all the time, I say you go for it and you spend a day there and just see what it's like. Even if you just walk around, it's so fun seeing the different cultures and stuff. But that's another one of mine. And do you guys have any more that you want to share? Jody?
Yeah, I regret not listening to my travel agent and booking Disney Cruise Line earlier. She kept saying, "You would love it, you would love it, you would love it," and I kept thinking about my cruise when my sister got married, and it was not a great experience. And Lindsay was Tim and I were miserable, and Lindsay was miserable, and it was not fun. It was not on Disney Cruise Line. Um, so we were very hesitant to go on our first Disney cruise, and I wish we would have taken some of them earlier. I think that it's such a good vacation for our family because we get all those things that we love. We get together time, we get separate time. So it's not like we're just taking a couple's vacation or we're just taking a family vacation. We're doing it all in one. And without the parks and the rush, 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 it's not so chaotic. You get actually time to chill out, but there's so many fun things to do. So I kind of wish that we would have tried it out a little bit earlier.
Do you think though you'd have the same experience earlier? Because I was thinking about what you were just saying. Like you can have your couple time, and you and Tim can go to dinner, and Lindsay and Lana can go off and do their own thing, right? But if they're little kids,
Yeah.
I think that's where it's a little bit different, right? Is like
I don't
you
know.
don't
They have
want
a
to just leave
nursery you
them.
can sign up for,
I
and
know.
they have kids clubs and everything else. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the perfect age is to start.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but ours
Yeah.
were in first grade and fourth grade at the time, and maybe that was the right time. I don't know, but
Yeah.
um,
Because they have enough independence, right? But not too
yeah,
much. And a cruise ship's pretty well contained.
very well. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's not like they're running away,
I
right?
just didn't know how much we would have liked it. Like
Mm.
I think we were set in our like, oh, we go to Hilton Head and we go to Disney. We had these things that we do. I didn't realize that we were going to enjoy this experience so much and feel so pampered and so. But again, it's that family time that we really enjoyed. But then we actually had a chance to reconnect as a couple. When your kids are little, you guys know there are days that it's like tag in, tag out. Like you're just going through the routine and you're going through the steps and you're going through the task list of getting everything done, the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning and the this and the that and the baths. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, hey, you, yes, I am married to you. So I think that's what I enjoyed so much about those trips is that we had really fantastic family memories, but we also got a chance to enjoy one each other's company and have a real conversation every once in a while. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really cool. And I mean, we went on our first cruise as a family this summer and it was awesome. I loved it. And I wish I would have done it earlier. But I mean, one of my regrets along the Disney cruise line is just not having done it yet. I can't wait to go on a Disney cruise. I can't even imagine how awesome it'll be if the one we went on, which was a Royal Caribbean one, and I loved that. And I thought the service was great. So I can only imagine a Disney one has to be another notch above that.
I also think it'd be a really cool way to see Europe because one of the challenges I'm having with planning our summer vacation is 2 nights here and 2 nights here and 2 nights here and 2 nights there, and the packing and repacking of and that's really where we want to go in Europe. That's the only really way to do it. But something lovely about sitting on a cruise ship and going through Europe, whether it's a river cruise or a big cruise, you know, you don't have to unpack every night, and there's something to be said about that.
Nice.
Like that sounds really appealing. So and it's kind of a best of taste of, you know, of Europe. You're not going to get really deep into a lot of places, but maybe it makes you think like, wow, I really like that and I want to go back. Like Lonnie, you were saying about Puerto Rico, you want to go back, right? Like that was a really cool place you enjoyed. So maybe that's how you think about the sampler of a cruise in Europe. So I don't know.
So what else? Let's see. What else we got? Lonnie, do you have any more Disney regrets?
Yeah, I had the Disney Cruise Line down and not going earlier as well, but I'm gonna deviate from that since both you guys have that one, and I'm gonna go from a financial perspective. I'm really regretting that I didn't buy more Disney stock like 3 months ago when it was down to $91. Right, right now it's going for like 113, 114. So from a financial perspective, I mean, I could have had more money to give Mickey. So
To give back.
Right.
yeah,
It's like a
give back.
stock
So
buyback.
I'm regretting that. My regret is I didn't buy more stock when I had the opportunity a few months ago when it was low.
That's a good point. Yeah.
With all stock in general, right?
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
buying
any
with-
stock. I wish I would have bought it very low and sold it very high.
I wish I'd have bought Apple stock when I was 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
You would be rich now, Gene. Rich.
Yep.
You wouldn't even be on this podcast, Gene. You'd be
No.
like so rich. You'd be like,
He would be on that special ABD trip where they get on the plane and they go
Oh.
all around the world to all the Disney parks.
oh
Like,
yeah, the 125,000.
yeah. And he would take all of us because we're his friends.
I regret not having an extra $125,000 to spend on that trip because that sounds
That's right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Per person. So
Yeah.
if you want to bring a friend, you better double that.
All right. I regret not having an extra $250,000. Oh, that would be
Regret
so
not
much
being a
fun.
millionaire.
But
I have a regret that I can't really put a finger on what it really is, but I had a trip a couple years ago that Lonnie swears it was popcorn. It could be sitting in the rear seat of a Studebaker or whatever and sharing a milkshake with Kevin. I don't know what it is. We didn't really share a milkshake, but I was sick as a dog and missed a half marathon because of something, and that Lonnie had the day before. So maybe it's some kind of regret to do with Lonnie. I don't know, but that's like of a Disney trip. That's my biggest regret because it's the worst I felt maybe ever in my life.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the foundation of many of Gene's regrets center around me. I don't know what it is about that. I mean, just if I was a weaker person, that would impact me, but it doesn't. I just laugh at it.
So, John, I have a question for you. So,
Yeah.
Lonnie and Jean are more seasoned Run Disney runners, right? So they've been at it longer than you and I have. This would make them
Really?
expert. Yes, Jean, you are the expert. So, John, do you ever have any regrets for not starting Run Disney earlier?
no, I think I started it right when I needed to. If I would have got into it any earlier, I don't think I would have. I wouldn't have liked it as much because I wasn't as into Disney at that time. So I think kind of, when I got into Run Disney stuff, I just think it was the perfect time. I loved Disney at that point. I was really getting into running, and where those two intersect, I ended up in a pretty cool spot. So I don't
Okay.
really regret it.
I regret not trying some of those races that were out back in the day, like the Tinkerbell race and the Light Side Dark Side, or the one that they did in the evening. What were the Wine and Dine that were the evening races?
Yeah, that was at the Wine and Dine. Just was in the evening at one point.
Even though I don't like running in the evening at all, but I still think it kind of would have been cool instead of waking up at 2 something in the morning, like going to bed at 2 something in the morning after the party. So yeah, I don't necessarily, I agree with you, John. I don't regret when I came into Run Disney, but I look back and I think, gosh, those were some really cool experiences that aren't coming back. I doubt, or maybe they will. I don't know. Oh, Lonnie's giving me the evil eye. So hopefully they come back, or else Lonnie's going to be sad.
No, it's not that. It's funny you mentioned that because I was running back when they had the Wine and Dine at night. right? And there was always some issue with it, right? It was the splash and dash because it rained one time, then it cut it short. And it was all this kind of good, crazy stuff. And even some of the dopies were cut because they cut out the path because of lightning storms, right? But the one regret I have run Disney wise is the way we started. When Gene and I started back in 2016, our first race, we actually did the Star Wars Dark Side, the inaugural. And then right after the race, we stayed off site, right? We went back to the hotel, showered, and then hopped in the car and drove back. You remember, Gene? We just drove back home. And for any of my Disney trips after that, even when I did the Star Wars Light Side, Dark Side to get the Challenge Medal, like I flew to California, did the light side, and then right after the race, showered, went to the airport, hopped on a plane, and traveled back. And I
busted it to try to get back to the room and get showered in time before you have to check out.
Exactly. And so now it's this past year, I started staying to the next day. And even when I did the wine and dine a few times, I would just, you have that night ticket for the party. I didn't even worry about it. I was just like, I gave the ticket away or just came back with a ticket, right? Because I would fly back that same Sunday. And when I went with Katie, her first race, we decided to kind of stay and take it all in, right? And I think, and went to the party and really enjoyed the party. So now I think I take my Run Disney trips a little different because I stay that night, that last night, that Sunday, and I don't go home to that Monday. And I think that changes the dynamics of it as well. So I regret all those many, many races when I just would run back to the room. You have to hurry up and run faster to change and check out to get to the airport. So yeah, now, I'm doing it different. I changed.
No regrets now.
No regrets.
No, that's awesome though, man.
Yeah, I flew back on Sunday after the marathon last year because the kids were with us and had to get back to school. And that was tough. I was already checked out of the room. So I showered in the pool shower, which was fine, but it was the making it through the day, not having a place to kind of call home for the day, and then getting to the airport. That was a long day.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
Right there when me and Gene was driving back, we pulled up in Alabama or something to go get gas and got out. It was like, oh, your legs were locked up. I was like, hey man, go in there and pay for this gas. Here's my car. I just give me something to snack on. Yeah, that first Disney race was we should have stayed the next day.
Yeah. My first Dopey, we left. I was in the airport that night and because I had a meeting the next day and I couldn't stay over. And it's better to stay over for sure.
And Gene and I actually kind of got us because we came from a race. Remember, Gene? I think it might have been one of the dopies, and our plane kept getting delayed. We got caught in Dallas, and because of the flight situation, and literally got to the airport like at 1 something in the morning. Had no flights home. Had to get a hotel room in Dallas, and then catch a flight.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Or something. So it just threw everything off. So yeah, I've learned my lesson with that. We ended up still getting home that Monday, but it was just crazy, right? Because it's madness.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun, especially after running 48.6 miles over a 4-day period. Oh, wow. One of the other things I regret is I've never been at Disney World on New Year's Eve, and I really, really think I need to do that at some point because I love New Year's Eve. I like watch, but I don't like huge crowds, but I think I can deal with it. And I think I would go to Epcot probably and see kind of the different parties they have going on and all the different countries and see how they celebrate it. I think that would be super fun. So that's something I regret still is just not staying for New Year's.
I think it's an opportunity because there's going to be more New Year's in the future. So
there are.
Even for me?
Right.
Even for you, John.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Even for you. Yeah,
you should have at least 1-2 left in you.
I hope so.
There are definitely, there are things like New Year's Eve I've never done in the parks. I have to say, I really want to try the Jollywood Nights. That just seems right up my alley. I think I'd really enjoy that event. So there's still lots of things. I'm not going to go with the word regret. I think there's lots of opportunities still to explore and do some things that I've not had the opportunity to try out yet. Because thing about Disney, they're always pushing out new stuff and new opportunities and new events. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Gene or Lonnie, you guys have any other ones?
My last regret is when I had the opportunity to move to Florida, to Orlando, I didn't take it.
Hmm.
So, I would love to have moved to the parks, closer to the parks, uh, with a good relocation to go there, but didn't do it, moved somewhere else. And now it's kind of like you know, you look at the Florida housing market and everything is just crazy. So back then it was more reasonable to move to, closer to the magic, so to say. Now I don't think I would. So, so yeah, so that's one. I should have, you know, fortune seized the boat. I should have did it when I had opportunity.
Well, Lonnie, luckily in the mail the other day, I got 2 pieces of mail from Golden Oak or from Disney Real Estate. One was for Golden Oak and one was for a Four Seasons private residences and Disney World. So I can send those down to you and you can look into them further if you want. They're probably super affordable.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. But I'm just gonna wait for you to buy it, and I'll just be like your plus one when you.
Okay.
That's
No,
right.
that sounds good. Yeah. Or you can use it when I'm up north in the summer, right?
Okay,
You
great.
do.
Yeah.
I may, when you read your DVC contract and it's like you own 0.00052 of a door handle in room 7962 or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think in Golden Oaks it would be even less than that. What I would
Oh
have
yeah.
the opportunity to own, it would be like 0.000000000. Like there would be lots of zeros in front of
Of
it.
a blade of grass, not
Yeah,
even
I'm
now.
not
Just
sure I could
of a blade of grass.
I'm not sure
And-
if I could afford that for a blade of grass because it's probably not even real grass. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably fake grass or the amount of money they spend to water the grass. I'm sure I couldn't even afford that. So,
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
it's a timeshare,
Gene,
Jody. So
if you
you'll
don't
get
know
your
Gene,
7 minutes
Golden
of
Oak,
the
you
year.
might want to tell Gene what Golden Oak is because he.
Oh, I know what Golden Oak is. You might want to explain it for some of our listeners who aren't as
Yeah.
seasoned.
So if you,
I am an expert Disney runner,
well,
but I'm not an expert at Disney, but I do know this.
okay. Well, if you're looking to move to Disney, there's an awesome subdivision right on property over by God, where's the entrance over by Port Orleans French Quarter? When you're right by there, you can see sometimes the wall that says Golden Oak. So very affordable homes right next to the Magic. It's perfect place to go. So check out Golden Oak. Tell them John sent you or the Ducks, and they'll probably give you a discount, right?
Oh yeah.
Or kick you out.
Yeah, and there's free bus service from there to the parks. But I don't know if any of our listeners have a home in Golden Oak. Let us know, and we'll come and check it out.
It's funny. I was actually at the bus stop when the Golden Oak bus pulled up, which is a completely different bus. It's not like a regular Disney bus, right? And it opened up and it had a bunch of little teenagers hopped out there. They had like their tennis skirts on and some guys with them, and they're all like young kids, and they just got out there and they were giggling and laughing, and they was going into the parks, and I was like,
Those
They were saying-
entitled sons of.
they were at Grandma and Grandpa's house. That's
oh yeah.
I mean, I'll take it.
yeah.
I'm not even a little jelly at y'all.
Yeah.
Not even a little.
Anyone want to
man.
adopt me? I'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, so I do regret not living in Golden Oak, I guess, as well.
Again, that money tree in the backyard
Yeah.
that we did not
Oh,
plant.
that thing, I think I got ripped off on that money tree.
I did too.
Yeah, I know.
My daughter keeps looking forward to, with all these college decisions that are coming in. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, still the money tree out back still's not in bloom. I don't know what to tell you again."
Yeah.
They're shaking it.
Colleges. I'm glad I have a few more years, but it's coming up quick. But all right, so that was a good discussion. If any of our listeners have regrets related to Disney that you want to share, come over to our Facebook page, Disney with the Ducks, and leave your responses there, and we can see what else other people may regret about past decisions around Disney. All right.
I was
Now-
waiting for one of you to say something like something terrible about Jeff or something. I mean, it was just such an open opportunity to just,
Hey, I'm taking the high road.
yeah, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too.
Jeff's Bills that he's been a fan of for about 6 months. I don't know, maybe a year. Beat my Lions today, and I'm sure he's going to have something to say about that. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna stick to what I said in our group chat. That's a bandwagon move, and I don't like it. So, but I'm waiting for that, Jody. I'm sure it's coming. Probably already is there because I haven't looked at my phone in the last 40 minutes. So no, I don't regret being friends with Jeff. He led me to you guys. Oh,
And
boy.
actually, I guess he led me to all of you too, because that was the breakfast that at least that was the breakfast that I had with Lonnie and Jean and John. Yeah, I guess I went up to the test track thing with Jeff to meet you.
Oh yeah. How exciting. I mean, Jeff is the center of our cog.
I guess so. I guess.
Wow.
Who knew? Who knew?
I know, right? All right, well, let's speaking of Jeff, let's tell some jokes. It's terrible. I feel bad, but I said
Do
what I said.
you though? But do you though?
No, I don't. I said what I said. All right, Lonnie, do you have a fun joke for us?
No, man, I don't have a joke, but it's funny. We're talking about regrets. The other day, I asked my mom what's her biggest regret, and I think I stumped her because she just kept staring at me.
Lonnie, you finally made me laugh. That
That's a
was
really
good.
good
Oh man.
All right, Gene, anything fun
Yeah,
going on in your life?
yeah. I bought a string jacket, but I'm starting to have some regrets. I thought it'd be a good look for me, but I just can't pull it off.
Gene, I had the same joke highlighted and was just
Okay, I'll do another one.
No, you're fine. I got it.
No?
I got
Okay,
it.
all right. Okay.
Are you on?
I got a lot of regrets, so
Are you
no.
on up jokes? No. Does it smell like? Do you smell that? It smells like Atta Baby.
What's that, a baby?
Dang it! I screwed it up. I was supposed to be Atta Baby because then you go, "What's a Atta Baby?" And then I say, "Nothing. What's wrong with you?" But I screwed it all up.
It smells like hot dog in here.
Yeah. What's up, dog?
I don't know, nothing, man. What's up with you?
Wow. Man.
I
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
talking about regrets. I regret rubbing that ketchup in my eyes but that's hindsight.
Hindsight. There must not be very many websites
Oh,
about
man.
We're all on the same website.
Hey, man, don't say how the sauce is made. We make these jokes up. We don't.
That's right. These are all original.
All of it.
the
Original.
older but honestly, like I've had a long week and I know I'm getting older, right? But the older I get, the more I regret all the people I've lost over the years. Maybe being a trail guide wasn't such a great idea after all.
I read that.
Probably
one
not.
too.
Probably not.
There's literally one website on the internet for specific to regret jokes.
I usually don't go to the internet for any jokes, but today it's funny. We're all in the same place.
We're all in the same place.
That's amazing. All right.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's special.
Oh, all right. Well, boy, oh boy. All right. If everybody could please go out and give us a 5-star review. We know you probably giggled a little bit there, so repay the universe for those giggles with a 5-star review. And then come over to our Facebook page, Disney with the Ducks. Like we said earlier, if you have other fun or funny Disney regrets or serious ones that you want to share, come over and share them in that community. I think, Gene, just to cover our behinds, could you check with the lawyers and see if there's anything they need to?
They've already gotten back to me. They've already gotten back to us. They've got it for us. This episode of Disney with the Ducks has waddled into the treacherous waters of Disney regrets, expertly navigated by John, Jody, Lonnie, and Gene. While we've shared our tales of missed snacks, you might also have stories of bungled fast passes, ill-advised outfit choices, and questionable rope drop strategies. Please remember that regret is part of the Disney experience. It's what keeps us coming back to fix our mistakes or make new ones. The opinions expressed in this podcast are 100% accurate and insightful, especially when they come from Gene, the heart and soul of this podcast, and the undisputed Disney expert. Lonnie's attempts at humor may result in secondhand regret, but we assure you it's part of his charm. Jody and John's contributions are certified regret-free because they are consistently reliable and delightful, unlike your last-minute decision to try that one ride after a turkey leg. Disney with the Ducks cannot be held responsible for any emotional damage caused by revisiting your own Disney regrets or for the overwhelming urge to immediately plan your next trip to fix them. Side effects of this episode may include overbooking your next vacation, realizing you bought too many bubble wands on your last trip, or a newfound obsession with spreadsheets to maximize every Disney minute. Thank you for listening. Remember, regrets are just lessons in disguise, or in Disney terms, a reason to plan another magical adventure. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep quacking, and keep avoiding Lonnie's advice. God, they have it out for you, Lonnie. I don't understand what that's about.
Man, I'm telling you, man, those
It's
lawyers
terrible.
give me emotional damage.
Emotional damage. Yep.
Before we emotionally damage any of our listeners any further, Kwaharini, everyone.
Bye,
Thank
friends.
you all.
Everybody.
I get my balloons to work tonight.
What's up? It's broke? You broke it?
Jody's
broke
just
the
throwing
fingers.
gangs.
You broke the internet?
Doing.
I got my
There we
phone.
go.
Man, what else do you regret about Disney? Bringing my kids to Disney because now they like it as much as I do, and it's costing me way
Yeah.
more money. That's another good one.